Hi, today I'm going to do the chili sauce that I spoke about briefly in one of the earlier programs. We know it as ají. It was given by a Peruvian man to my mum years ago, and we have faithfully made it ever since. As I said before, my research has kind of shown me that it should be a green sauce. Whatever the provenance and whatever the name, it is truly the most delicious sauce, and my family make it and have made it for years now. So what we are going to do, the magic formula for this is however many tomatoes you use exactly the same number of chilies and garlic cloves. So in this instance I'm using 6 jam tomatoes, as they're called here. They're not terribly juicy, unfortunately. 6 of these, 6 red chilies this size, and 6 cloves of garlic like this. This is a raw sauce. And then I have about 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, which is going to help grind the chilies and garlic into a nice smooth paste before I add my tomatoes. Because if you add your tomatoes too early, then you get this frothy sauce that isn't the texture we're looking for. So in go my garlic cloves, my chilies, seeds and all, I use everything, and my salt. And then I'm just going to give this a blitz. I'm just going to bring this down because there's still some fairly solid pieces of chili in there, which I want to get smushed up. Okay, have a look. So I've still got, some of these chili pieces are still fairly big, but I don't mind a little bit of texture in mine, so I'm going to leave it like that because you can either have it completely minced or you can have a little bit of texture, and that's what I like. Next goes in the tomatoes. Just cut them up, quarter them, so that your food processor doesn't have such a difficult time. Just going to pulse it so that it's evenly distributed, otherwise you're going to get a really mushy bottom layer and then the rest is not going to be. It also stops it getting that frothy thing. So I've left it with a little bit of texture. Now we're going to add olive oil to this. I can't give you an exact measurement because the way we've always done it is a pretty weird way. You know the big Nescafe bottles? That's what we always used to use to store our ají in. And what we used to do is we would make this quantity and then add some olive oil, and then we would kind of top it up with olive oil for whatever that size jar was. So it needs to be a sort of liquid sauce with texture, but not too little olive oil and not enough. Good luck with that. Okay, you'll see how we're going to do it. So I've got my olive oil here. The reason I don't add the olive oil while I'm doing the blending is because then you really get that frothy kind of vibe, and sometimes it even takes the color away from the tomatoes. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to add a good, that's probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tablespoons of olive oil, give or take. I'm going to do a taste test to see if I've got enough salt in there. This does have quite a lot of salt in it. Salt is really good for bringing out the flavor of tomatoes, but it also acts as a little bit of a preservative. This needs more olive oil, and actually this could have done with a little bit less salt. So I would say 1 heaped teaspoon, not 1.5. Because I don't usually measure in teaspoons, so that's why that was inaccurate for me. I usually kind of just chuck in. So you can see now, because I'm blitzing it with oil, this is this kind of frothy thing that I was talking about. Yeah, that's really good. So I am going to add more olive oil to it. And obviously, if you don't like the flavor of extra virgin olive oil, because it can be quite a dominant flavor, use some grapeseed oil or, you know, a light flavored olive oil in it, but as well as the olive oil. This is quite a peppery olive oil that I'm using, so it's delicious, but it is quite a strong flavor. I'm going to pour this into here, which is probably not big enough, but just to give you an idea. Oh no, that's fine. Perfect. Obviously you can choose different types of chilies, and it doesn't only have to be done with red. I mean, I do it with red because it's all red, but I have done it with green chilies if I haven't been able to get any red ones. And if you like bitching hot chilies and really hot sauce, then obviously go for habanero or bird's eye or something. I've just gone for a normal cayenne pepper chili. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil just to top it. And then when I want to serve it, I will mix it in. But you need it has got a fair amount of olive oil in it, and that's what prevents it from going off, you know. So there we have it. Highly addictive, highly delicious, very healthy red chili sauce, ají, whatever you want to call it. We just call it by what we think it's called, ají. Delicious. Oh yeah.